Hello. Welcome to your weekly reading. We're going to change the day that it starts to Saturdays. So it's going to be your weekly reading for Saturday, April 18th. I am Leah Spinrad. I am the creator of the Household Ecosystem Framework. And this is a reading for all of us who watch it. And it's going to begin with the first card that's for the community, our relationship to outside forces, outside of our homes, and how to care for ourselves in that context and what action steps to take in that direction. A card for our homes and our families and how to take care of that, and then one card for self-care. If you're a regular follower and you're like, is the plant okay? Plant is fine. It literally just fell over. I usually have it hooked up to the wall and it just fell off the wall. So it's healthy, it's happy. I just need to re-screw it up. The hook needs to go back in the wall. So hopefully this week we get some cards that aren't spades. I don't have a problem with spades, but all spades all the time is a little harsh. It does make sense with the Aries stellium that we would have so much of one type of energy. Even though I wouldn't necessarily mix Aries and spades, I suppose there's a certain forcefulness to spades in this deck. Even though it's earth, it's kind of like earth, but lava. Okay, let's pull our cards. Okay, we got already starting off very different than last week. This is Soul. He is the king of king of clubs. He's extremely cerebral. He is a student. It's funny, I just filmed a reel that I put on Instagram of me holding like every single book that Marie Kondo wrote. That's this energy. Like, I want to read every single thing. I want to know everything about this topic. He has a tendency to get a little bit separated from reality, but I think as this is talking about us and what we can do in the world and how to relate to our communities and care for our larger circle, definitely he's writing. Letting our thoughts be broadcast is important here. Our knowledge, sharing our knowledge. This is really about sharing knowledge. And if we know something, to share it. And if we have an expertise in something, to really stand up and say, yeah, I know that. I am very competent in that arena, and I can serve the community well by stepping into that competency. For our family and home. Just right there, okay. Oh no! It's back! It's the same as last week. Okay, keep crying, guys. Keep crying. I'll get back to it. I wanna finish out this reading and then we'll. And then self-care, care for self. Yes. Rivals. I love this card. So, seeing these all three here together, we have this very cerebral, he's not super emotional. He tends to be a very unemotional guy, which is interesting next to the rest in peace remembrance card. So this is obviously deep grief, giving your family time to grieve, giving yourself time to grieve. If you want to go back into last reading last week, it was all like grieving cards and death cards. It was very much all about how we're handling this changing world. And this being here again for the second week means that whatever we're working on isn't done yet. That grief in the home, that grief in your family, that grief for yourself. I see you like sitting with people in your family who are grieving, helping people in your family. I've been helping my mother actually go through things that she's letting go of because she's getting ready to move into yet another smaller place. Something like that, where you're like, you yourself might be sifting through the belongings of a loved one or your own belongings in anticipation of something, letting go of something, or you may be sitting with somebody else and helping them do that. There's the same feeling of last week of just grieving the world and giving yourself space for that. And then also your own beloved losses, your own friends and family that have passed away that you miss. Just giving yourself ample time and technology to grieve. Grieving is so important. And the more we don't grieve, the harder it is to handle life. And if we're just stuffing the grief away, grief lives in your body. And when grief is free, it lives in your whole body. Like the energy of grief just moves around freely, and like it comes and goes in waves. You're hit with it. It can be, absolutely devastating at times and then ebb and flow. But if you're stuffing it away because you don't want that devastation, you don't want to feel that flood of grief in your body, then it often gets stuck in the chest, but it'll get stuck somewhere else too. And then you essentially lose that depth of access to your own body. And that's where people really lose themselves in grief. Sometimes you think you're not even feeling it, and what's happening is you're blocking it. So finding the way for you to grieve is going to be absolutely imperative in moving forward. And because this is in our family care circle and not in our self-care, this is holding space for your whole family to do this. And then in our self-care, we have the Rivals. I love the Rivals card. It's one of my favorites. It's perfect for this time of year because it's about an equal opposing force, and we're still in that springtime where it's not generally more dark than light. Here at least it's about even. So you're still feeling that push and pull of balance, the yin and yang. So here for our self-care, it's about finding that inner tension in a good way between rest and exertion. And the word I am looking for is on the tip of my tongue. Ambition and like acceptance, like finding that push-pull balance in yourself and creating space for the dichotomy of life and like the grief and the joy, the knowing that you know something but maybe not feeling it fully in your body yet. There's this like push-pull here for ourselves and saying, I want to take care of myself. I want to move forward in something. I know we've been turning the page in the last few weeks, turning the page on something, bringing something out into the world. This is like holding space for the times when that's going to feel like it's no good, like you're this dying old man, and then you're also going to feel like the young woman coming down from the sky. This is the sunset. So I'll bring this closer. So it's called the Rivals, but it's really about, the balance of opposites in nature and in ourselves. So these three together, what I'm feeling is we've got this balance of opposites, this push-pull, giving yourself time to rest, but also like expecting from yourself the things that you said you were going to do, not letting yourself off the hook. There's like a pushing here that I feel like you need to push through something, push through the resistance to doing something, and that on the other side of it, there's some freedom. So you're doing that push-pull where like maybe you have some resistance and you're going to push through that resistance. There's just a tension here that's not necessarily negative, but also might not be super comfortable. And then also uncomfortable, crying, grief for yourself, grief in your family, grief dealing with your stuff, all of it. There might be some financial things too here where you're grieving loss and lack of resources. There's just a lot of grief here. Last week I talked a lot about how this is all just compost that we can use. So once you get through the grief and the grief is like moving through you, it becomes a well of strength as well. So stuck grief doesn't serve you. But grief that moves, it's a part of us. Grief belongs to us. It's a part of our lives. It's one of the like basics of being human is grieving. So it's hard, but it's also a gift. Right there. And then the intellectualizing and reaching out to our communities with the things that we know. And there's a little bit of this here where you're like, I don't necessarily want to volunteer for that thing. I might not necessarily want to write all my thoughts down and put them out. But that's how we're going to move everybody forward through this time, to like reach out and be an expert and also take in the knowledge. Take in the knowledge. If the knowledge is distressing, grieve the knowledge. You know, it's all together here. I'm digging it. So yeah, so from now on, this will be available on Saturday morning. I'll probably have it live at like 7 a.m. So when you get up, you can watch it. I hope to see you around the internet town, and have a really lovely week. Here it is finally spring. It's my favorite. And I hope it's lovely weather-wise where you are too. Have a great day. Bye.